What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another rank and tier video where we kill two birds with one stone. We do a tier list and we rank from worst to best and artist. And today we're doing the Black Keys since they just released their 13th studio album, No Rain, No Flowers. So you'll see where it ranks on my list. And yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's just get right to this thing. I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to do a tier list style. And we're going to do it in order from my least favorite to favorite. So, in the number 13 spot, my least favorite, which hasn't changed much, by the way, from my worst to best list that I did last year, but Let's Rock is still my least favorite. And the main reason for that, I've come to realize, is there was such an anticipation for this record because the Black Keys had basically broken up and had taken like a 5 year hiatus before this came out, and there was just so much anticipation and an expectation for it to be great, and it was just so okay, which is for me a cardinal sin for a Black Keys album. Okay is not good enough. Okay for Black Keys is just not good. There's just nothing that's really memorable on this album, and for that reason, it is my least favorite. So now at number 12. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say the new album, No Rain, No Flowers. Again, just breaking that rule of Black Keys just being mid, as the kids would say. Like, not a whole lot of greatness. I do like that song, Man on a Mission. I think that's kind of the standout track. It gives you a little bit of that Black Keys El Camino era greatness, but it's just other than that, there's just nothing that really stands out here. And it's really unfortunate because they employed so many other writers on this album. And you would think that that would, I don't know, expand their horizons or something. But no, it's just very, I don't know, not much to it on this one. Maybe more listens will make me move up in the ranks, but that's also on the lower rung for me. I'm going to put one more, unfortunately, in the D list. My number 11 is Dropout Boogie, another one that's come out, in the last decade, another one that's just not very memorable. Nothing really jumps out. They had that song Wild Child, but that was almost like a cartoon caricature of themselves at this point. So, those are my three D level Black Keys albums, the ones that I just probably am not going to revisit much, unfortunately. So now we're going to move up to the C level. And for my first one there at, I guess we're at number 10 now, is Magic Potion from 2006. A lot of people love this record. To me, this one from their early years is their worst. Songs like Your Touch were okay, but I don't know. Like this one to me, like it was a weird middle ground of like the production getting better from the garage rock sound that they started with, but then the songs didn't really match the level of production to me at that point. So I don't know. This one to me, for some reason, it's just not one I go to that often. But it's not bad. It's a C to me is good. Like I give this a 6 out of 10 kind of level. So now next on the list for me is number 9 is Ohio Players. I don't see why this one got as much hate as it did. I feel like this one they kind of took their time on and did some cool stuff like there's a song that kind of reminds me of like something Link Ray would do. I can't remember the name of it offhand. I think it's called, oh, Read 'em and Weep. That's the name. They also did some cool hip hop collaborations that they hadn't done since Black Rock, which, if I had it my way, I would include Black Rock on this list, but it doesn't technically count as a Black Keys album, so I'm not going to put it. But Ohio Players was, not a bad record. I kind of dug it. And one other thing I would say with both Dropout Boogie and this new No Rain, No Flowers, maybe they need to take a little more time in between records to get to a level that's at least good and memorable, I would say. I don't know. One other thing I'm going to say before I move on to the next one, all these tier lists of the Black Keys include their EP Choluma, if that's how it's pronounced. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to include it on mine because it's not a technical LP full length record, at least not on AOTY.org. So I'm not going to include it on mine. Some of you may, but I don't. So now we're moving on to number 8, and that's also going to be in the C range, and that is Thick Freakness. Um, One of their very early records. This one does have the, classic garage rock sound. I do love the title track, great riff on that one, but the rest to me doesn't stand out that much and doesn't really hold up to where I listen to this record very frequently. So that is all my lower level stuff. Now we're moving on up to the B range. And we are right smack dab in the middle of their discography now at number 7. And that's going to go to Rubber Factory. A lot of people rank this higher. Another early record. I do love several songs on here. The opening track, When the Lights Go Out, is just fantastic. There's some other good ones that stand out here as well. It's not one that I listen to all that much, but whenever I do hear it, I do really dig it. So that's in the B range for me. Now moving on to number 6, I'm going to go with 2014's Turn Blue. This one was their last kind of like great hurrah before they took their long break before Let's Rock and started on their kind of downhill decline for the most part. But Turn Blue is really solid. Like the title track is very cool. The Weight of Love is an awesome, 7 minute opus opener. You got several really good tracks, some great ballads on here as well, and kind of works as a breakup album. Actually, Dan Auerbach was going through a divorce during this record, so yeah, really strong one, and that is was my number 6. So now we're getting to the cream of the crop here, the top 5, and an outlier of recent years here. Delta Cream. I really, really dig this record a lot. When it came out, I remember listening to it multiple times. I was just like, oh man, I wish the Black Keys would do more of this, where they just go straight up blues. Of course, all the songs on here are covers, but not songs you would know that well. A lot of their heroes that they've covered before. Some great songs on here, like Crawling King Snake. And you could tell they're just having fun in the studio here. So I kind of wish they would do more of this, or at least in this vein or this vibe, would be great. This really, to me, was the comeback that I was hoping albums like Let's Rock would be. So, Black Keys, if you're listening, more of this kind of thing would be great, kind of going back to their roots in a sense. And on that note, my number 4 is their very first record, The Big Come Up from 2002. Man, talk about garage rock. I mean, this was just the two of them in Patrick Carney's garage doing it, recording it themselves, homegrown, and just so awesome, man. Every single track on here has something to offer. You got some great riffs on tracks like The Breaks, of course, Do the Rump, Busted. It's just, and it's so short and sweet. It's just one of the greatest debut records of this century, if you ask me. And I wish I had known of it sooner. I didn't become a Black Keys fan until somewhere around 2010, when I happened to catch them as the opening act for Kings of Leon, and I think Brothers had like just come out, so I had a lot of homework to go back and listen to their prior releases. But man, just what a great debut album. So that was my number 4. My number 3 is Attack and Release from 2008. This one, you could tell there was a huge jump in production value. A lot of that has to do with working with Danger Mouse as a producer. But yeah, you can hear it just on the opening track of All You Ever Wanted, that whisper to scream dynamic that's so great. Then, I mean, just so many great tracks on here. Lies is great. The Closer, Things Ain't Like They Used to Be. is tremendous. Of course, I Got Mine is just one of their greatest rockers, and one that in those days they were just doing live, just the two of them. Now, of course, they employ more artists to play with them, but man, that is just a solid album from start to finish, and certainly deserves to be in the A range. So now another A, my number two is El Camino. This, I mean, come on. This was the height of their popularity, and for good reason. I mean, just from the opening track of Lonely Boy, it's so good. You've got Gold on the Ceiling. You've got Little Black Submarines, just one of their greatest tracks ever that starts out slow. And by the end of it, they're just jamming the hell out. And you can tell it's just them going at it live and like, yelling in the background while he's soloing. It's so great. Also, gems like Run Right Back. I mean, there's really not a weak track on this record, but it just comes a little short of being in the S range for me. And there's only one that does it, and that is Brothers from 2010. I mean, this is just may as well be a double album. I think there's like 15 tracks on here, and it's all killer, no filler. Even like the one instrumental track, Black Mud, is just really cool. You can tell there's just so much soul behind this album. It was recorded in that magical studio, in Alabama, Muscle Shoals. And, I mean, just every single track here, Everlasting Light, the opening track, all the way through to These Days. You've got my favorite Black Keys track of all time, Sinister Kid, which has just such an amazing groove to it. You've got great ballads like Too Afraid to Love You, where they're really going into different, production value, like using a harpsichord on that one that works perfectly. It really feels like it could have been recorded in like the 60s. You've got Howlin' for You, Tighten Up, Next Girl, just song after song. All of it is great. And yeah, that I think they're never going to top Brothers, honestly. But I'd love to see them get some more in the B and A range. I think they have it in them. But yeah, that is overall my list, guys. Let me know what your list would look like if you were doing a tier list and a full ranking. Based on this overall average and how I score things, the Black Keys have an overall score of a 6.8 out of 10. You round that up to a 7, that they're still a very good band. They're not quite at Beatles level as far as the discography goes. They have an 8.6. And we'll see. I'm going to be doing some more of these ranking tiers as artists are releasing new albums, and we'll see where some of these other bands rank. Also, our next Mount Rushmore, or my Rushmore, that Mark and I are going to do are going to be our top four favorite bands of all time. So we'll see who makes each other's list. That should be an interesting one. Be on the lookout for that later this month. And guys, we got so much more on the channel. Top fives every Friday, album reviews, top 50s that you can vote on, so much more. Thank you for watching. And as always,